massive explosion at the SE Fireworks warehouse devastated a suburb of Enschede in the Netherlands. Investigators combed the debris looking for traces of high explosives, but found none. Against the odds, it seemed the evidence was suggesting that this disaster was caused by fireworks alone. But what kind of fireworks? A United Nations Committee on the Transport of Dangerous Goods classifies fireworks according to their explosive capacity. 1.4 is the lowest category, not considered a major danger. 1.3 fireworks will burn fiercely in a fire and should not be approached without a heat shield. The more powerful 1.2 variety will produce small explosions and some projectiles. 1.1 fireworks are the most potent. They can throw out dangerous amounts of debris. Firefighters are advised to stay well away and under cover. SE Fireworks was licensed to store only the lower-rated fireworks. But investigators believed that something much more powerful had been stored in the compound. According to explosives expert Jaap Vierheim, the first blast had the same force as 800 kilos of TNT.
The last one, the major one, was about 4,000 to 5,000 kilograms of TNT.
It was the biggest explosion in the Netherlands since the Second World War. An audit of the company's books indicated there were no high-rated fireworks in storage. Could the paperwork be trusted? Jan Stecklenburg investigated SE Fireworks on behalf of its insurance company. He went to the source of the fireworks, a Chinese factory, where he found a crude assembly line.
They go to the bunker, they pick up 4 kilos of gunpowder from the bunker, they put on the table, and with the little comps they fill the nutshells.
The nutshells that hold the explosives are used as measuring cups for the raw materials.
It's all pure handwork.
And a bigger bang can be supplied for more cash.
It's not difficult, if you're looking for that, to go to China and to get fireworks that has more gunpowder in it than what is allowed.
And if you create your own label, they'll stick it on for you. No questions asked. In the Netherlands, investigators got an unexpected insight into the trade when they seized a shipment en route from China to SE Fireworks. The contents were listed as 1.4 grade fireworks, but tests told a different story.
It's quite clear that it was much more stored of a more severe class than related to the licensed explosives.
Those field tests were compared with the damage at the blast site.
A lot of 1.3 reactions and even more severe, even 1.1.
Investigators concluded that SE Fireworks had criminally violated its license on 2 counts. The storage facility was overloaded, and it contained fireworks more powerful than was permitted. A Dutch court found SE Fireworks owner Ruud Bakker and his partner Wilhelm Pater guilty of storage and license violations. They were fined and sentenced to 6 months in prison. But those convictions didn't answer the bigger question. What had triggered the explosions? At the epicenter of the blast, the concrete pad that supported the main building was pummeled a meter into the ground by the force of the explosion. Steel reinforcement was bent out toward the surrounding buildings. From thousands of photographs, hours of videotapes, and statements from over 2,000 witnesses, investigators were able to put together the sequence of events on the day of the explosion. The first place to catch fire was the main fireworks assembly area. It sent up a plume of smoke, and fireworks shot off in all directions. Next, fires broke out in the surrounding storage containers. The first explosion happened when those containers detonated in a chain reaction. and 66 seconds later, the rest of the compound blew up. But what had started the initial fire that triggered it all? The investigation focused on the fire's point of origin inside the main building. This was where the fireworks were assembled from raw materials: gunpowder, accelerant, and firing tubes. When police interviewed employees of SE Fireworks, two theories emerged. They mentioned that the building had been rewired by someone who was not a certified electrician. This person was never identified, but could faulty wiring have started the fire? Workers also reported dangerous handling practices inside the storage area. They reported that nitrated cotton, material that is cut into wicks for fireworks, had been stored in racks beside an electric heater to dry. Nitrated cotton is extremely sensitive to heat. It's meant to be stored wet, wrapped in plastic. It could easily have ignited if placed too close to a heater. However, both these theories were impossible to substantiate. The scale of the devastation was so massive that no evidence could be found for either theory. But maybe the wreckage itself would reveal other clues. Peter de Bruin from the Netherlands Forensic Institute was brought in.
The challenge was to find out what happened there, what caused the first fire.
High-rated fireworks, like the ones that ripped Enschede apart, are extremely volatile. They're meant to be stored underground in hardened climate-control bunkers. Exposed to too much heat, there was a strong possibility they could self-ignite. When Peter de Bruin looked at photographs taken before the explosion, something struck him immediately. The massive skylights in the roof of the fireworks assembly building. On the day of the disaster, the sun was shining, and it was unusually hot.
This assembly room would go very warm, and fireworks might have out-ignited.
Could the ambient temperature in the storage area have caused the fireworks to ignite? Tests were run in the forensics lab.
We had determined that it would out-ignite only at about 165 degrees Celsius. So it's impossible for this material to out-ignite because of the sun shining through the skylights.
Investigators were stumped. Going back to their primary evidence, the police reviewed the thousands of witness statements and came to a startling conclusion. The fire did not start in the main assembly area. Several witnesses told Detective Kamperman they saw fireworks ignite outside the building moments before the fire started.
De plek waar het NLR met haar bevindingen kwam, waar het eerste vuurwerk de lucht in was gegaan, lag 20 meter voor gebouw G op een plaats tussen dat gebouw en de bunkers.
If the fireworks went off outside the building before the fire, they must have been set off deliberately. Now, faulty wiring, spontaneous combustion, or any theory that placed the point of ignition inside the main building had to be ruled out. Arson became the #1 theory, and the serial arsonist was still at large.
In de maanden voor de ramp vonden er brandstichtingen plaats in Enschede en omgeving. En dat waren voornamelijk brandstichtingen in industriecomplexen, industrieterreinen. Grotere bedrijven werden in brand gezet.
But the fire at SE Fireworks didn't fit the arsonist's pattern. He hadn't worked in residential areas before. He had lit every fire at exactly 11 p.m. And he had always left himself an easy escape route.
We look at the time difference. We look at the places. We look at the way the arson was done. For me, the difference were too big.
So the serial arsonist was ruled out. Investigators had to look for another suspect. They started from the two main criteria for a criminal investigation: motive and opportunity.